Hey, Dr. Alan Christianson here. This is a topic I love talking about, just the ordinary, everyday superfoods. We've been led to think that we've got to get some exotic thing from the remote jungles of the rainforest to be helpful, but some of the most common things you could get in any supermarket that you probably have in your fridge already may be the most powerful game changers you could ever imagine. And I can think of no more humble, underappreciated food than everyday white mushrooms. Just the plain old ones you find in any supermarket. These are called agaricus bisporus, and these are just the plain old white cap or white button mushrooms you'll find anywhere. These are very high in many good nutrients. You know, general categories are going to be B vitamins, especially thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, and also some minerals, especially copper and selenium. They're also just non-allergenic. They've got some quality protein, lots of fiber, a decent amount of vitamin D also, believe it or not. And several big studies have shown that these random plain old white button mushrooms do big things for your health. One of the more dramatic studies was that they can raise your immune defenses, your IgA, by 53 to 56% in a week. Now that's the main way you both ward off colds and flus, but also regulate your body to prevent against autoimmune reactions. So you can make that better by just random mushrooms. This study used about 100 grams per day, which is roughly a cup. And what they showed was that the benefits took about a week to emerge, and they dropped off after about 2 weeks of avoidance. So you can't eat mushrooms and have them help you forever, but the results do drift for a little while, even after you've stopped. And it was daily intake of about a cup. Honestly, not that hard to achieve. So you can add those to any foods you can imagine. And so easy to include, and just no drawbacks, really no rates of allergies or intolerances, no GMO concerns, no gluten concerns, things like that. Some other big studies have shown that the lectins in mushrooms can cut down the formation of damaged keratinocytes that are implicated with psoriasis and other skin lesions, and also small amounts, regular intake. Prostate cancer. Some big studies have shown that people with rising PSA levels that are either having prostate cancer or at high risk towards it can see big reversals and no side effects just by adding in substantial amounts of mushrooms. Markers of inflammation. You know, we're emerging onto this theory that inflammation is the source of so much chronic disease and disability. And the extracts, one of the amino acids from mushrooms in the context of mushrooms, has been shown to really plummet C-reactive protein. So in terms of inflammation, that's the main thing that we see as being a marker for cardiovascular inflammation, and especially acute heart attack amongst women. Here's another fun thing. So breath issues, you know, garlic is good for you, onions are good for you, but they contain thiols, which make your breath sulfury, you know. So how do you deal with that? Well, a very elaborate study used both robots that were measuring thiol compounds and humans who were just smelling bags of breath that others exhaled after they had varying amounts of garlic, raw garlic, and varying amounts of mushroom in their mouth. And what they saw was that the mushrooms had a double benefit of not taking away the thiol, not binding it and making it inactive, but leaving it there and taking away its effects upon odor. So if you could totally take away thiol, you may lose a lot of the health benefits of garlic and onion. But mushrooms didn't do that. They left it intact and biologically active, but they took away the bad effects upon your breath, like the perfect win. So how do you want to use them? You know, keep them dry, and when you use them, don't wash them. You know, wipe off any dirt. The stems are nutritionally fine, but they're not quite the same texture or taste, so some gourmets prefer to remove them. I usually don't. I just want more mushrooms. I love mushrooms, so I often do eat them. But yeah, just wipe the dirt off there. And you want to heat them at pretty high temperatures. They start to squeak when you do it right. So I'll use like a cast iron skillet and get it at high heat for even a couple minutes. Do a real fine misting of a heat stable oil. Avocado oil is a great one. And what that does is it makes a bond by which there's less porosity, there's less openings in the pan, so they won't stick. And you actually don't want to have like a big glop of oil or butter. You want it mostly dry. and let them hit that surface. They'll squeak if it's hot, and saute them around. They'll liberate some of their own liquids, and that's great plenty to saute them with. Afterwards, a few sprinkles of salt. You could then add them into another dish or serve them by themselves as a standalone. Also, of course, great raw. I personally prefer cooked, just as a matter of preference. They're also awesome in soups. So you can take the ones that are sauteed and put that along with whatever else, some carrots, some beets, some squash, and blend that up in a power blender for a few minutes, and you've got hot soup ready to go. So awesome food, great immune tonic, great anti-inflammatory, no negatives to it, and it's right there in any supermarket. Take great care. We'll talk again really soon. Bye-bye.